Okay, you're probably desperate for some help with that puppy biting. Most new puppy owners find this phase the most challenging of all. I get it. I'm here to help. I'm going to start off right away with one tip on what not to do. Don't speak. Yes, really. Do not do the thing that humans do naturally, or that they want to do, by saying things like, no, no bite, stop that, bad puppy, or something else. Obviously, your puppy wasn't born speaking your language, and he doesn't have an understanding of the words or their meaning just yet. Talking too much to our dogs and thinking that they understand is a habit that humans do, but it's not helpful. So what you should do, if you have a land shark biting puppy on your hands, well, that's the topic of today's video. Stick with me and I'm going to give you 10 great tips on how to get through this challenging phase of puppy raising. Now before we begin, for the best puppy training tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe to this channel. That way you'll get notified when next week's content goes live. Now don't forget to check us out on our other social networks as well. You can grab the links to those in the description below. Michelle here with How to Train a Dream Dog. All right, before I go into my biting tips, let's set a few expectations first. I know that you know this, but I need to remind you, biting is a natural behavior for dogs. So instead of taking it away entirely, we have to teach them to do it only on certain items, like their toys. I like to use the analogy of a child drawing on the wall. Now you don't want them to use pens and markers on the wall, so you redirect them to the paper. You don't take away the pens and the markers entirely, because writing and drawing are natural behaviors for children. Redirecting to the appropriate item is a critical part of managing biting. Redirection won't work the first time you do it. It's not going to work the second time or the third, but it will work if you're consistent. All right, it's going to take time and it's going to take training for these lessons to really sink into your little pup. Getting everyone in the household on the same page, being consistent, being patient, and working on it every day are also super important as you address this unwanted behavior. Now, puppies bite for a few different reasons, and it's important to take note of why they're biting because this is going to really help you solve the problem. Here are the top 5 reasons that puppies bite. Exploring. Puppies explore the world with their mouths. They don't have thumbs to pick up things and investigate new and interesting objects. Instead, they use their nose and their mouth and their teeth to check things out. So if your hand is sweaty or has lotions on it and it smells like food, your puppy is likely to nip and bite. They aren't doing it to hurt you, they're doing it because they're curious, and this is their way of getting some more information. Next up, natural urge. Puppies have a natural urge to chew and bite. Now if you don't give them the right things to chew on, they're going to chew on you and your furniture. This is why it's so important to have good toys on hand when you have a puppy. Now, you can check out this video here on some great chew toys I recommend, and then this one here for super chewers in the house. All right, here's another reason why your little furry friend is a land shark. Teething. Puppies who are teething, which usually takes place between 3 and 6 months, will naturally want to chew and bite. Now, you probably know that it can take more than 20 years for a human to transition to their adult teeth, including wisdom teeth. But for puppies, all of those teeth grow in, fall out, and the adult ones come in all within the first year. That's a lot of teeth moving around. It's probably really uncomfortable, don't you think? You're going to want to help your puppy soothe those sore gums by providing not only good chew toys, but things that feel good, like frozen filled Kongs or other toys that can be filled. I have a great video with some excellent options. My pups tested out a lot of different fillable toys and can tell you which ones they liked best. And you can check out this video here to see what other healthy options you can stuff in your Kong to keep them busy and aid in those sore gums. All right, next on the list, movement. Puppies are drawn to movement, which is why when you attempt to pet them, they might nip at your hand. Or have you ever just walked through a room and been the subject of a land shark attack? All right, well, hang tight. I'm getting to those remedies in just a moment. But keep this in mind if you have kids who like to run through the house. Your pup is naturally drawn to those movements. Okay, last on the list of reasons why puppies bite, the schedule. Wait, what? Michelle, what do you mean? Well, believe it or not, one of the biggest indicators of when puppy biting will be better or worse is the schedule. You see, puppies who are riled up and have a ton of that playful puppy energy are likely to take it out in a way that comes naturally to them, mouthy play. Likewise, if a puppy is overtired and needs a nap, they have very little impulse control, and that can result in, you guessed it, more mouthy play. Now, you can see what I mean from this amazing graphic I share a lot in my Facebook group, Puppy Training with Michelle Lennon. By watching the schedule and noting when biting is worse or better, you can take note of how you should adjust your puppy's playtime and nap time. Now, most of the time, puppy biting has a lot to do with an overtired dog. You won't know for sure until you start watching the schedule and pick up on those patterns of behavior. Just remember, your dog's behavior is telling you something. Are you listening? Okay, on to the juicy stuff. The tips to reduce all this biting. Number 1, always have the right toys for your pup to chew on. Nyla bones, antlers, marrow bones, and even Kongs are great toys to have on hand for biting and teething puppies. Don't waste your money on stuffed toys that can just be easily chewed apart and ingested. Puppies can tear apart and swallow stuffing or squeakers, and it can cause a blockage that needs to be surgically removed. And when your puppy goes to bite you, you're going to want to redirect them to a toy and reward them handsomely when he engages with it. Remember what I said about having patience? Well, you're going to likely have to redirect hundreds of times. Yes, hundreds of times before your dog has the intellect and maturity to start changing his behavior. But there are some more things that you can do to work through this and keep your sanity intact. Number 2, like I mentioned, puppies are drawn to movement. So if you reach to pet your pup or you try to walk away and your puppy nips and bites at you, note that this was a trigger. Whatever the action was, it's triggering your pup to go for it. Now, it could be your child running into the room, or reaching down for a food bowl, or maybe opening a drawer to get out a treat. Now, when you figure out what that trigger is, it's time to change up the sequence. The more your dog gets to practice that habit, the harder it will be to break. Now, you can teach your dog what you want him to do at that moment instead. Maybe he needs to sit politely while you fill the food bowl, or wait on a mat while you get out the treat. I can help you with those skills and many more as part of my online course. All right, before I move on with the tips, I have homework for you. So after you finish this video, I want you to watch this one. That video contains an amazing overview of how dogs learn and how we can train them not to do the things that drive us crazy. It has so many good tips in there. You're gonna find them to be helpful as you work on this. All right, number 3, yelping ouch or saying doesn't necessarily work. Instead, we recommend you teach what we call an interrupter cue, which is really just a noise that you have trained your dog to stop and take note of. All right, he will take note because you trained him to, not because you scared him or he's afraid of what you're gonna do next. This cue is only to get him to stop what he's doing so you have a quick moment to grab a toy or put down what's in your hand so you can get ready to redirect him. Now, most people use a kissy noise, or maybe a word like, hey, hey, given with a natural, not angry tone. Now, you're going to need to first pair this word with treats while training, so your dog learns that he should pay attention to it, because good things happen when he does. All right, here comes tip number 4. Encourage forms of play that do not include touching your puppy, such as fetch or gentle games of tug. All right, so this flirt pole here, which is an extra long toy, these are really great for interactions which keep human hands away from puppy mouths. I also like a long rope toy as well, like this one. Now you can see where my hand is, right? And how far away it is from a puppy if they're on the other end here. That's a good thing. And another pro tip for the flirt pole, this is a great toy for puppies who love to chase, and most of them do. Tie a favorite toy to the end, and you can really have some fun while getting your puppy some exercise. Save the jumping for when your puppy is full grown, however. Keep this one on the floor for now. All right, tip number 5. Rotate toys every couple of days. Switch out the toys so they seem new and interesting. Now, you might even store a few of them in the dog food bag so they have a new scent and are especially interesting. You can also give your dog a choice of what toy they might want to play with on that day. Now, you might be surprised by their favorite. Tip number 6. Exercise your puppy. Your puppy should be getting mental and physical exercise multiple times a day. Now, a puppy that has a ton of pent-up energy will be more likely to bite. They need an outlet to release all that puppy energy. Otherwise, they're gonna take it out on you or your home. Now, if you haven't already incorporated them, definitely try decompression walks as often as your dog seems to like them. Now, most of my students report that these walks are key when it comes to reducing biting. All right, moving on to tip number 7. Watch your body posture. Your body posture, towering over your pup, may cause her to get excited and jump to greet you with her mouth. Alternatively, I have students who have figured out that sitting down on the floor became the trigger for the overexcited behavior. So note your body posture when it comes to biting and change things up to see how it helps. Now, when doing training, I usually suggest sitting on a stool or a chair depending on the size of the dog. Again, if you're paying attention, you'll pick up on patterns of biting, and then you're going to be able to switch these up to prevent it. Tip number 8, manage your environment. This means using baby gates and puppy pens and crates so your pup has some space for cool down times and safe alone time. And this helps him take a break for whatever excitement might be happening. And it allows you to take a break and refocus on your training or what's next on the schedule. Keep in mind that crates and pens are never used as punishment, but they can help refocus or redirect your pup and give them much needed rest. Remember, puppies sleep a lot, sometimes up to 18 to 20 hours a day, but puppies often need some help transitioning from high energy activity to a nap. So do a few low energy activities to help him settle before going in the crate. Number 9, reward the behavior you want to see more of. This means that if your pup comes up to you and greets you without jumping and biting, reward that. You don't have to use treats every time for a reward. Kibble can work too, especially if it's the same brand, but maybe a different protein source. Now at the pro level of my online course, we have a fun activity called the 50 Kibble Challenge. We're focused on rewarding our dogs for doing things that we like, which helps build up those skills and extinguish things we don't like. Now the key here is to catch the behaviors you like before they lead to the ones that you don't. So my pup Pickles gets rewarded when he sits nicely at the door when guests arrive. He's a super social guy, so that's really hard for him, but we work on it every day. Last but not least, tip number 10, training. Yes, you can train your dog not to bite on you, but you want to work on this outside of the time that the biting is happening. This means teaching your dog that good things happen when he engages with his chew toy and not your hand. Now, we have a few games in my online course where we work with the dog to choose the right thing, and then he gets the tasty treats. All right, remember that this kind of training can't happen in the moment of the biting. It's something you're gonna wanna work out during other training sessions. Just like we can't train the kicker to kick while he's at the Super Bowl, I want you to work on this in practice sessions so you're ready for the real thing. Now, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to biting, but with these tips, you can work through what's happening in your home. And with time and training, it will get better. Now, if you're finding this phase particularly challenging, consider enrolling in the pro level of my online course. We can examine things like what might be triggering the biting, how the schedule might need to be adjusted, and what you can do to work on the training to minimize the biting. Now, we can also work with you in a personalized way to design a plan that's just right for you and your puppy. If that's something you'd like to check out, the link to the 30-Day to Puppy Perfection program is below in the description. All right, before I wrap up today, I just want to share a few nope tips. Now, there are tons of people out there in the world giving horrible advice on how to address biting. I hate to even mention them, but I will for the sake of education. These are aversive techniques that will lead to a breakdown in your relationship and likely a frustrated, distrusting, more mouthy dog. So please don't do these things. Number 1, never hit your dog when they bite. Number 2, never hold your puppy's mouth closed tight. Number 3, never yell at or create scary noises when your puppy is biting. Number 4, never put them in their crate for punishment when they're biting. You can calmly start a cool down activity, followed by putting them in their crate for a rest. Number 5, whenever you want to adjust your dog's behavior, never leave them hanging. Always teach them an alternate behavior or what you'd like them to do instead. Okay, that was a whole lot, but biting is a whole lot. I can't solve it for you in just one YouTube video, but I think with these tips, you're gonna be well on your way to surviving the land shark phase. But you know where to find me if you need more help. All right, in the comments below, tell me, how old is your puppy and what does he or she love to bite on other than you?